When people ask us what Peace Productions is about, I think the simplest thing that we can tell them is that we are committed to projects that give voice to the voiceless and those who are victimized by the worst parts of our system, they're victimized by racism and sexism. They're folks who are emotionally and physically, sexually abused. And it's about the forgotten.
The average woman was in the same category as me, no sense of, no self-identity. We were what you would call a product of your society.
It raises issues about racism. We had white police officers, a white judge, white prosecutors, all white jurors, and about the only black person in the courtroom besides the family of Anthony Porter was Porter himself.
In every film we have, however dark and however overwhelming it is, there are always slivers of hope. If for no other reason than people are talking to us, and people have made it through an enormous struggle in their life.
I had just walked out of a funeral home with my wife where I had selected a casket for my son, something I never thought I would have to do.
We're totally committed to maintaining the integrity of the truth as we film it. We cling to that tenaciously because we believe in that with all our hearts.
My mom couldn't do no better than what she was doing for me. And she had attracted the disease of addiction. And now that I'm learning about my own addiction, I can understand hers better.
It's an awesome responsibility that affects and colors every step of the filmmaking process for us.
On January 16, 1991, when the first Gulf War broke out, the bombers began to fly overhead, and every dog in the region began barking. And those dogs barked themselves hoarse. And I always felt that was the most appropriate response in some ways to the beginning of that war.
When we get a project in our hearts and our minds, we are shameless because we'll ask anybody for anything. Shoes off your feet, shirt off your back, because we think the project we're doing merits our tenacity and merits us being willing to ask for help.
This great man, like a lunatic bending over humanity, kneeled down from the mushroom cloud, toiling over his own cremation, placing it in the valley of the shadow of death.
Because we believe their stories are vital and crucial and important to the health of us as spiritual beings and as societal members.
Peace Productions is committed to telling stories that never get told by people who are often forgotten or oppressed or ignored, people that are invisible to everyone else. And to me, that's why I got into documentary filmmaking, to tell those kinds of stories.
Around the globe, wherever you look, there are stories crying out to be told.
The heart of Peace Productions' work is about inviting people and sometimes challenging people to think about something in a new way, or just get people to think about something for the first time.
I would like for my kids to know that factor about my family, about the KKK within my family, my great-grandfather being a preacher. I want them to know all of it. I want them to know their heritage, but I want them to learn from that heritage the mistake that their ancestors made.
And hopefully spark something in their consciousness that wasn't there before.
The stories that we feel we can go after are those that speak to the lack of human concern and the lack of human dignity